Good morning, boys and girls, and if you're watching this video, it's Chinese New Year. Gong Hei Fat Choi. And today's read aloud is going to be Ruby's Chinese New Year. Ruby has a grandmother that has been teaching her all the time since she was born how to celebrate the Chinese New Year. Unfortunately, in this part of the story, Grandma is not feeling well. And so Ruby decides not to stop celebrating Chinese New Year without her grandmother. So she goes to visit her grandmother, and on her way, all these beautiful animals that are going to be part of the Chinese New Year calendar or the lunar calendar, they are going to accompany. Let's see and pay a close attention which animals do get to the grandmother's house with Ruby. Not all of them make it, so pay attention to Vicky Lee's Ruby's Chinese New Year. Every year, Ruby's grandmother came to visit for Chinese New Year. Together, they celebrated eating special foods and making drawings for good luck. But this year, grandmother was unable to travel. She would miss spending the holiday with Ruby. And so Ruby made a decision. If grandmother could not come to Ruby, then Ruby would go to grandmother. Ruby drew the most beautiful picture of her family seated around a table full of noodles, dumplings, fish, vegetables, and holiday sweets. A gift for grandmother. She folded the red paper, tucked it into her red envelope, and slipped it into her pocket. Then she set off. So, depending on how they celebrate, some of them do celebrate with rice, but if you see dumplings or you see other things like fish, right? Those are other foods that they do eat. So it's not necessarily what you've been eating all this time. Not far down the path, Ruby spied Cat and Rat. Hello, Cat and Rat. I'm taking a gift for Chinese New Year to grandmother. Would you like to come along? Yes, of course, said Cat. But how will we cross the meadow and the pond? Let's ask Ox, said Rat. She's so strong and dependable. And so Cat and Rat and Ruby continued their way. So the first two are Rat and Cat. Pay attention because more are coming. Now you're going to see the one for this year, which is the Ox. Ox was walking along the path to the farmer's home, and on her back she carried packages of rice cakes and candy, sweet treats for the new year. Hello, Ox, called Cat and Rat. We are taking a gift for Chinese New Year to grandmother. Would you like to come along? I would be happy to, said Ox. Climb on my back. We will make the journey together. And so Ox, Cat, and Rat, and Ruby continued on their way. So this is Cat, and this up here on Ruby is Rat, and this is an Ox. That is an ox. This year is the year of the ox. Before the group had taken 2 steps, Tiger and Rabbit bounded out of the bushes, streamers flying behind them. Hello, Tiger. Hello, Rabbit, said Ox. We are taking a gift for Chinese New Year to grandmother. Would you like to come along? Oh, yes. That sounds fun, said Tiger and Rabbit in unison. And so Cat took a seat on Tiger's powerful back, and Rat perched between Rabbit's soft, friendly ears. Together, Tiger and Rabbit, Ox, Cat, and Rat, and Ruby continued on their way. So now you have rabbit and tiger. You have ox, the rat, and the cat. They soon passed dragon and snake, who were making paper lanterns. "Hello, friends. Where are you off to?" asked Snake. "We are taking a gift to grandmother," said Tiger. "Would you like to come along?" "Of course I would." Snake loved grandmother and was happy to visit her. "We will bring the lanterns," said Snake. "We will come too, Dragon." "Will you come too, Dragon?" asked Rabbit. "Of course," said Dragon, who was always ready for an adventure. So Dragon and Snake, Tiger and Rabbit, Ox, Cat and Rat, and Ruby continued on their way. So here's the snake, and over here is the dragon. Pay attention to see who gets there. There's a lot of them. As they walked along, Ruby saw horse and goat grazing in the meadow. "Hello," said Dragon and Snake. "We are taking a gift to grandmother. Would you like to come along?" "Yes," said horse and goat together. First they gathered flowers from the meadow. Then horse and goat and dragon and snake, tiger and rabbit, ox, cat and rat, and Ruby continued on their way. So here's the goat, here's the horse, here's the ox, here's the rabbit, here's the tiger, here's the cat, somewhere is the mouse, here's the snake, here's Ruby, oh here's the rat. All right, and they're all going to see grandmother. It's exciting. After a short while, horse and goat, a dragon and snake, tiger and rabbit, ox, cat and rat, and Ruby reached the pond where monkey and rooster were catching fish for the holiday feast. And through the shrubs just on the other side, Ruby could see grandmother's house. So, here is rooster, here is monkey, okay? And all the others are on the other side of the pond, and they want to get to the other side of the pond to see grandmother and visit her. With a leap and a bound, Ruby dove into the pond. She would swim to grandmother's. She was so close. You see? Now I wonder which animals are going to follow her. Uh-oh. Something happened. Does anybody remember? That's Ruby's card. It's supposed to be in a red envelope for her grandmother. So all the animals are doing whatever they can to save it. When Ruby finally reached the other side of the pond, monkey and rooster, horse and goat, dragon and snake, tiger and rabbit, ox and cat and rat were waiting with her card for grandmother. "Oh no," cried Ruby. "It's ruined. Everything is ruined." And so they're all sad. They tried to save the envelope, but it was already soaking wet. "It's not ruined," crowed Rooster. "We have fish," said Monkey. "And flowers," said Horse and Goat. "We have lanterns," said Dragon and Snake. "And streamers," added Tiger and Rabbit. "We have rice cakes and sweets," said Ox. "And we have our family," said Cat and Rat, looking towards the house. Aww. So she might not have a card, but everybody brought something. That's very important, not only in Chinese culture, boys and girls. It's kind of an etiquette that if you do go to visit somebody's house, you don't go with your hands empty. You always bring something. Okay? Rule of thumb. As monkey and rooster, horse and goat, dragon and snake, tiger and rabbit, ox, cat and rat, and Ruby turned to look, dog and pig came racing out to greet them. They covered Ruby's face with kisses and tickled her until she shrieked with joy. The door opened. So not only they came, but already with Grandma was the pig and the dog. How beautiful! They recognized Ruby. And Grandmother appeared. Ruby, what a wonderful surprise, said Grandmother. Aw, do you have a grandmother? I brought you a gift for Chinese New Year, said Ruby, but it's wet and ruined. Don't worry, said Grandmother. It will dry, and seeing you and your friends today is the best gift of all. So Grandmother welcomed all of them to the house. Beautiful, right? Together, dog and pig, monkey and rooster, horse and goat, dragon and snake, tiger and rabbit, ox, rat, Ruby, and Grandmother laid out their table. Everyone was ready to celebrate Chinese New Year, except for Cat, who had fallen fast asleep. So, they all celebrated, and they are all members of the Chinese New Year or lunar year calendar. The cat is not, because the cat was sleeping. So the legend of the Chinese zodiac is that it follows by animals. So it's always a rat. This year's the ox. Then comes the tiger, the rabbit, the dragon, the snake, the horse, the goat, horse, goat, monkey, rooster, dog, and pig. It's beautiful. It's wonderful to learn other cultures and celebrate. You can also create a Chinese New Year lantern with construction paper. You can also make a fan for Chinese New Year. So there's lots of things that you can do to really welcome the New Year. And of course, like in China, you can make a welcome banner or a good luck banner. The end. I hope you liked Ruby's Chinese New Year. And remember, all these animals got there, but only 12 were able to stay awake. And Cat fell asleep. Have a wonderful, wonderful Chinese New Year, Gong Hei Fat Choi, and enjoy the beauty of happiness.